I want to do this conversation on understanding colorism and racism, and just the knowledge that there is a difference. And the way I want to talk about it is from this position. Now, colorism is discrimination in regards to skin complexion, and it basically keeps a group of people divided because they're focusing on different colors, and everybody has different prejudices and ideals of what one group maybe thinks about, even though they really don't think about, because of just different conditioning and different habits. Now, racism is a prejudice that is basically systematic, and it basically keeps a particular group disenfranchised. It's people, racism, you see people basically going against people from the content of what they look like versus of the nature of their character. And we know that black people in America experience racism at just high levels, and not just from a place of what you look like and stereotypes, but also in the system. There's various situations in the system. I waited for a long time to talk about Zoe Saldana because of just how I felt about it. I was very up in arms about the whole Zoe Saldana, Nina Simone situation. When I watched the trailer, I was so distraught and disturbed by the images that I saw. Seeing Zoe in the blackface, seeing her with that prosthetic nose, seeing her make the different facial expressions that African Americans make. Maybe not, Zoe's not an African American. She is black. She is a part of the African diaspora. But just seeing the different facial expressions that she was making, she was trying to look like Nina Simone. It was just so painful to watch because it did not look natural at all, and it actually distracted from the overall work of trying to tell Nina's story. When you later go back and look at who actually created the project, who wrote it, you learn that Cynthia Mort and some of the different, it was just basically a whole white panel there, the producers who made this. So they're giving us their interpretation of what they think Nina Simone looked like and their interpretation of her story. So that whole situation is problematic. Now, when everything came out, the conversation that was going around was, we are being prejudiced towards her in a colorism state because we're saying that she's quote unquote too beautiful to play this role. And the reality is, the argument in the narrative is not that we are up in arms that she is quote unquote too beautiful or too light to play this role. The reality is, we are looking at this woman do a racist minstrel blackface show. Even though that may not have been her intention, the image is still blackface. It is still pulls out from a hard, dark period of time where people called black people monkeys and had them with the wide watermelon style lips and the dark skin. It pulled up something within all of us that just was like, oh my God, I can't believe I thought we were done with this. It's 2016. And even though I know she was trying to act and she was trying to pull from Nina, it just became a mockery of Nina, because Nina's story was not just that she was this musician who fought racism. It was the fact that she was a black woman, a dark-skinned black woman, I may add, with African facial features, not European at all. No matter how much you tried to Europeanize her features still came through, and she was a very beautiful woman, and the makeup that they did on Zoe just did not do Nina service. It would have been better for them to cast a woman who either was in that color hue with the facial feature, phenotype. It didn't matter which woman from the diaspora. You could have got a Dominican woman that looked like Nina, and I would have been fine with that. Heck, I would have even been fine if Zoe would have played Nina without the blackface. It would have been bold. It may still not have gone over right, but at least I wouldn't have had to slap in the face a blackface. She recently had an article on Allure where she talked about it, and it was so disheartening to read because it let me know that she still doesn't understand the narrative of why everyone is so upset. She thinks everyone is upset because we feel that she's not black enough, or that she's too pretty to play this role. And at one point she even said, "Don't meet me with this disdain, I am black." We know you're black, honey. It's a part of the you're a part of the diaspora. You are qualified because your ancestors, came, I guess, from West Africa into that region of the Dominican Republic, Hispaniola, all of that, and that's how you came about. So we understand all of that. That nobody's saying you're not black. What we're saying is, in this situation where race was such a big, vital role, a part of Nina's life, the fact that she was unapologetically black during a time when it was not okay, when it was not politically correct to even be black, when you had to press your hair, when you had to make sure that your makeup and everything looked tonal and looked a certain way, and you did not look African. So you can't tell that story and you do it in blackface. You just can't do it. It's just not going to work. So I just wanted to bring this conversation up to basically continue the conversation, to bring in another viewpoint so that the narrative does not get lost in the translation of the picture, does not get lost in the conversation of, oh, this is colorism, black people just need to be happy the movie's being made. When no, the reality is black people need to throw that stuff right back at them producers and say, we are not accepting this BS. You are not going to blackface our people. You're not going to tell our stories. And then we need to go start a GoFundMe account and call Ava DuVernay or Spike Lee or somebody else who understands the importance of why, in sharing a story about Nina Simone, you gotta, show the true physical beauty attributes of what that woman represented. Nina Simone was a beautiful woman. So putting her in blackface just doesn't do it justice. And then, there's parts where Zoe even makes certain facial expressions and she's got fake teeth and it's just like, oh my God, is that what you think black people look like? Go online and check out a couple of commentary. There was one video by, I think, BuzzFeed or something, where they did a response where they wanted to show black women's reactions to viewing that. A lot of women cried. And it wasn't just dark-skinned, but light-skinned black women as well. And I have to say that because this just goes back to the conversation of colorism. Even women who are light-skinned see the importance of why we have to tell this story from the true perspective of what Nina Simone looked like. So it has nothing to do with colorism. It has everything to do with telling this woman's story. Please, your thoughts. I just want to say pay attention. There's so much frustration that comes out of it, but we definitely have to have the articulate conversation about the narrative of this story. So there is a difference between colorism and racism. I'm Chanel J. Wilson. Please like, comment, subscribe. And yeah, have a great day.